Christmas, barkeep.
Merry Christmas, honey. Come here. I did it.
It's that time. Christmas time is here. Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Hear that sleigh. Santa's on his way. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation. Got a ton of stuff to celebrate. Now it's getting closer, I can't wait.
Our second movie premiere tonight is the highly acclaimed fantasy Field of Dreams, starring Kevin Costner.
Just wait and see this Christmas vacation. This old house sure is looking good. Got ourselves the finest snowman in the neighborhood. Ain't it fun? Always on the run. That's how it's done on Christmas vacation. Let's go let the hose and light the lights. Get a toasted fire burning bright. Give St. Nick the warmest welcome that he's ever had. We're so glad it's Christmas vacation. And when the nights are peaceful and serene, we can cuddle up and do our Christmas dreaming. Christmas vacation, Christmas vacation, Christmas vacation. We're so glad it's Christmas vacation. Fa la 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 and ho ho ho. Jingle jangle jingle as we go. Let the spirit of the season carry us away. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation.
We've only been together 5 minutes. You're already telling me what to do. Please.
ITV and Diet Coke presented Movie Premiere.
The Central Match Live. Boxing Day sporting action at 2:50 between Stoke City and Birmingham City. Both clubs are under new management, with Stoke's Joe Jordan following in the wake of Lou Macari, while Birmingham are still reeling from the shock of Terry Cooper's resignation. The Central Match Live. Boxing Day soccer skill at 2:50 on Central.
First, a Boxing Day message from Her Royal Highness the Queen.
I'm not doing it. It's not my material. I mean, why should I? At Christmas...
Oh yes, the season of goodwill.
We don't like conflict.
I don't like any breakfast cereals.
Ho, ho, ho.
That's the spirit.
Know what I mean?
Oh, yes! Yes!
Yes, it's time to slip into that party gear.
Look at me, Mum!
Yes, very nice, Edward. Now go and change into your panto costume, will you?
A Boxing Day ball of fun starts at 10 with the Spitting Image pantomime, followed at 10:40 by Hale and Pace, The Business, on Central.
With options from Ford, you have the option of driving a new Ford every 2 years. Like the new Fiesta Fresco at £99 a month for 2 years, APR 8.8%. Then, after 2 years, you have 3 options. You can either part exchange it for a new Ford or keep the car by first paying a predetermined final purchase payment. Or you can simply return the car to your dealer. And of course, there are great options deals on the whole of the Ford range.
Just move on.
Call 0800 777 444 now for an options brochure or ask about options now at your local Ford dealer. Central England Ford dealers, quality people, quality cars.
As the snow falls, so does C&A's prices, some to half price. C&A's Great Winter Sale starts Monday the 27th of December. Make it a date and pick up a bargain.
Remegel has exploded the idea that an effective indigestion tablet should leave a chalky, gritty taste behind. Remegel brings you fast, effective relief, but in a soft, chewy tablet. Now there's new fresh mint Remegel, just as effective, just as soft and chewy. Remegel, effective indigestion relief that's chewy, not chalky.
You know, I do my part to help the environment. I put all my empty Holsten Pils in the bottle bank. Every month I get a statement. All the sugar turns to alcohol. But, oh, well, on with the recycling.
Tilda American Easy Cook rice is easy to cook, and it won't stick. Tilda.
Hey, Santa, Lampoon Poly are offering their biggest discounts ever, but only until January the 3rd.
Biggest discounts ever? Get away.
The biggest ever Paul Eyre carpet sale starts Boxing Day holiday. Every carpet is reduced. And for the first time ever, you can buy any carpet. Pay just over 10% deposit and then pay the balance in June '94. First 4 days only, save 90% on this Wilton. It's only $1.95 a square yard when you buy the underlay at $2.99 a square yard. Save over 60% on these American shadows now, $2.99 a square yard. These prints are only $1.49 a square yard. Sale starts Boxing Day holiday. It's the big one. Don't miss these fantastic 4-day offers.
It's bigger than a sale. It only happens once a year. The Texxas end-of-year sellout. All surplus stocks to clear. See the national papers.
Take 3 tales from the Big Apple by 3 renowned directors, all in one great movie, New York Stories. And enjoy New York at its finest for Woody Allen's classic, Manhattan.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? You have to ask what I'm doing? You think you're God. I gotta model myself after someone.
This is really a great city, really a knockout, you know?
Movies on for Christmas in New York.
In 10 minutes or so, Field of Dreams. Now, the news.
Good evening. This is the news from ITN. Tonight's headlines. The Queen speaks of the light of hope in Northern Ireland. Russian hijackers threaten to blow up a helicopter with hostages inside. And a platinum Christmas for the couple who married 70 years ago today. The Queen joined politicians and churchmen today with a heartfelt plea for peace in Northern Ireland. In her Christmas message, she spoke of the light of hope after years of darkness and fear. It was a sentiment shared by many people in the province who watched her speech.
As the people of Northern Ireland sat down to Christmas celebrations, thoughts of the current troubles were not far away. While the politicians argue over the way forward for a political settlement following the recent joint declaration by John Major and Albert Reynolds, this overwhelming desire for peace was reflected in the Queen's Christmas message to the nation.
In Northern Ireland especially, these last years, fear has made the streets dark indeed. Now we have seen that the light of hope can brighten them. May 1994 bring to those brave people who live there and go about their lawful lives undaunted the reward they deserve, peace.
That Christmas wish echoed by those who had been watching the Queen's message.
It was good for the Queen to hear her saying that, yes.
Whoever who was listening, the ones who do it, might listen to her.
I think it was very good, you know. But I would love to see peace here.
And at church services throughout Northern Ireland, there were appeals for reconciliation and a new start. Protestants and Catholics were united in one voice, offering special Christmas prayers for a peace so longed for by everyone in Northern Ireland. Mark Lyons, ITN, Belfast.
The Princess of Wales joined the royal party for the Christmas service at Sandringham this morning, but she left immediately afterwards. It was her first Christmas appearance with Prince Charles since their separation, although they barely exchanged glances. Prince William and Prince Harry are spending several days with their father. Russian hijackers are threatening to blow up a helicopter with 5 hostages, including 2 schoolchildren on board. 4 gunmen seized the hostages on Thursday, and despite receiving a £6 million ransom, they're still refusing to hand over their remaining captives.
One of 2 schoolboys freed by the terrorists today. He had complained of feeling unwell. Still being held captive in the helicopter are 2 teenage boys, their school bus driver and the 2 pilots. The Russian government has warned the gunmen to surrender or face the consequences. The ultimatum has been ignored. The hijackers' response was to cut off radio communication with the negotiators. From Mineralny Vodi, the gang intend to fly to Iran, stopping at Mahashkala and Baku, about 100 miles from the Iranian border. At Mahashkala, Valentina Petrenko, Russia's Foreign Office negotiator, has volunteered to be exchanged for the freedom of the remaining 2 children and driver. The terrorists have promised to free her when they arrive in Baku.
They think that if there's nobody on board, the helicopter will be blown up. That's why such a decision was taken. This is their condition for releasing the boys.
Bad weather has prevented the helicopter from taking off, and officials are now doubting the terrorists' claim that they intend to fly to Iran. It's thought they may try to land in the Caucasus Mountains, where accomplices may be waiting to help them escape. Adrian Britton, ITN, Moscow.
In Bosnia, all the warring factions have ignored a Christmas ceasefire. Serbs shelled Sarajevo and Muslims clashed with Croats around Vitez. But the British troops based there have been doing their best to enjoy the traditional celebrations.
Christmas in Bosnia and the Coldstream Guards have a special early morning call. Horse Guards parade it isn't. Instead, this is Vitez camp, where the army is based.
Morning! Coffee, rum.
Go away! There's a Christmas tradition called gunfire, where officers serve the men laced tea and coffee.
That's right, so that is it?
But away from the camp, a different sort of gunfire, where the Muslims are continuing to besiege a large Croat enclave. Christmas night was marked with more fighting, although there's supposed to be a ceasefire in progress. British soldiers here are doing what they can to make it feel like Christmas, but there's still a job to be done. Warriors have been out, but today they're crewed by officers.
I'm complaining. Where's the silver tray?
Christmas lunch is the usual affair, roast turkey and cans of beer. It's a short break from a war which is getting ever closer. Although we have heard shelling and small arms fire in the area today, there has been a significant decrease from the past couple of days, suggesting that Christmas is being marked elsewhere too. Jim Buchanan, ITN, Vitez, Bosnia.
The Archbishop of Canterbury has called for better religious education, saying many young people suffer from a deep spiritual thirst. In his Christmas sermon at Canterbury Cathedral, Dr. George Carey said many youngsters didn't know the Lord's Prayer and the most basic Christian stories. Much of Britain woke up to a white Christmas this morning, but the winter weather brought misery to thousands living along the Welsh border as the River Severn overflowed. It was even worse on the continent, where large areas of northern France, the Netherlands and Belgium are still underwater tonight. Nigel Burwood at ITN reports.
In the Netherlands, the Dutch government has declared the floods a national disaster. 180 square miles of land in the south of the country is underwater. 12,000 people have been evacuated from their homes. For families in the Limburg province and in the city of Nijmegen, Christmas Day began with desperate efforts to build dikes from sandbags against the rising water. Victims of the floods face a ruinous Christmas, as insurance against flooding in the Dutch lowlands is virtually unobtainable. Charities have launched an appeal to help them. There's been extensive flooding too in parts of France, northern Germany and in Belgium. At least 7 people have died, and the damage caused by the floods is likely to total tens of millions of pounds. At home, parts of the River Severn are still subject to a red flood warning from the National Rivers Authority. Roads and buildings around Shrewsbury and the Welsh border are underwater, and today it's been raining again. But in London, some people just love the water. Members of the Peter Pan Swimming Club were out as usual for their traditional Christmas dip in the chilly Serpentine.
Finally, a couple from Buckinghamshire are spending their 70th Christmas together. Their first Christmas was also their wedding day, back in 1923.
Mince pies on Christmas morning, how times change. On this day 70 years ago, there were no such luxuries for Ted Ackland, just butterflies in the tummy before he went off to church to get married. Today, Ted, who's 95, and his wife Anne, a young 90, celebrate their platinum wedding anniversary at their home in Milton Keynes, along with daughter Brenda and granddaughter Tracy. Ted was at Passchendaele and Ypres and wounded in an artillery attack.
So I ended up in Tooting Grove Hospital, and that's when I saw this one. I thought she's a nice girl.
Then followed a trip to Brighton, where they held hands, underwater, out of sight, of course. And after the regulation 2-year engagement, they were married. Who's the governor? Who's in charge?
We are.
He thinks he is. Let him think it.
She's the captain, I'm the first mate.
Yeah, that's right.
Ted and Anne are now trying to find out what a 71st anniversary is called. Colin Baker, ITN, Milton Keynes.
That's the news. Have a Merry Christmas.
Hello, good evening. Well, it's like a perfect night for curling up by the fire with something warming. It'll be bitterly cold with a widespread frost, quite a severe frost too in places. And with temperatures falling perhaps even as low as -8 to -10 Celsius, you'd like to find some freezing fog patches around tomorrow morning, so if you're driving early on, do take care. But in western areas, plenty of dry and quite bright weather. To the east, though, still a rather lot of...